and queens, welcome back. It's Nicole, and those who are new, thank you for joining, and I hope that you will subscribe and watch my videos in the future. Today, I have a special guest, Eva Bueno. She is from evalovesraw on Instagram and YouTube. She is author of 2 books, a smoothie book and a high raw reset book, and I'll let her describe and talk to you guys about those later. And she's also a coach. So if you're interested in transitioning into a raw food diet, she is a great person you can talk to, and I'll also let her tell you about that later. So I'm going to get into the questions now. Thank you again for joining, Eva.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is exciting.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much. This is my lunch break, so. So why don't you first, the basic question everyone wants to know, tell us about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Eva. I'm from Spain. I've been living in the United States for a long time now, probably about 33 years. So I'm pretty much American now. I live in California, and one of the reasons I chose California was for its abundance of fresh produce and beautiful fruit and just so green, and everything is so fresh. So it's one of the reasons I want to live here, just because I go to the store or the farmer's market and the food is so abundant and so delicious here. Yes, so I have been 100% raw vegan for the last 4 years and a bit. And that means I only eat raw fruits and vegetables in their original state without cooking them. And I try to obviously make them organic and as seasonal as I can. And I have been doing this for 4 years because I wasn't feeling too good when I started. I had some issues, some health issues that I wanted to address on my own without having to go to the traditional route of going to the doctor. Right. And so far, I feel like I've accomplished my goal and then some. I did get rid of all the issues that I had. And now I'm just continuing to thrive in this weird but really cool lifestyle.
Good, that's awesome. So your transition started more so because of some health things that were going on in your body.
Yeah, I had some health concerns, and I also, even though it wasn't necessarily that I had cancer or that I had anything major, like some of the people that get into this lifestyle is because they're very, very sick. I didn't have anything catastrophic, but I could read the signs that I was heading toward something that wasn't good. And I was 44 when I started this, and I could already feel some major hormonal issues happening, and I could already feel just my health declining. My hair started falling out, and I don't have a lot of hair to begin with, so I was like, my hair is coming up, like it was literally coming out. I noticed my skin also, it always had a lot of breakouts and things like that all my life, but I thought, I'm 44, shouldn't my skin look better than this? And I also had fatigue. I was always tired. I was always struggling. I was always like wanting to lay down, watch a movie. I had no energy. I had really bad breath, and I was always chewing gum. And so all these things kind of like led me to, I just knew that I had a problem that was coming to me, but what cinched the deal was I had experienced really heavy periods that were lasting for 3 weeks plus of very heavy flow. And when I went to the doctor, they just wanted to put me on pills. They wanted to put me on, and I did take the birth control pill for 1 month just to stop the bleeding. And then I got right off because I just knew that just wasn't the answer. That was just patching the problem. It wasn't really addressing. Band-Aid. So it was a Band-Aid solution. So the doctor just said, well, it's normal, you're perimenopausal, let's just put you on hormones, you'll be fine. And I was like, no, I think there's a problem. So that's what got me started. Okay, so once you went raw, it turned around everything, the hormone issues, the menstrual issues. Not right away. It took a while. Yeah. So I didn't want to be one of those people that tries things but don't know what the heck they're doing. And I knew this was a serious thing. You can't just like decide, I'm going to do this, and you've never read anything about it. You don't know anything about it. And I'm not going to just go by what I heard someone did. So I went to the Hippocrates Health Institute, which is a place in Florida where I lived at the time. That is a very well-known place for healing with alternative means, and they use a raw vegan diet to do that, among other things that they use as therapies there. So I went there and I did the health educator program that they had there. It was like 9 weeks on campus, and I lived the lifestyle and I learned everything that I could. And obviously that opened the door to reading and learning more. And then I went to Cornell and I did my plant educators certification, so that I knew plant-based, you know, the ins and outs, and I wanted to know scientifically. And I didn't just like, oh, I'm gonna eat raw food. I mean, I looked into it. You know,
you did your research.
I did my little research, and I did go to Hippocrates, and right away, actually, I felt worse. I didn't feel better. I felt much worse. I felt like I was dying. I mean, I went through a really heavy period of detoxification where I felt worse. I mean, you sometimes they say you gotta get worse before you get better.
Right.
But in that instance, you start to panic. But I had faith, and I just kept going. And so it took a good probably 2 years before I started turning around the big issues. The little issues started right away. Like right away, I had more energy, you know, right away, my nails started to really grow. Right away, my skin cleared up. That was right away. Like it took maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 months. I have a video where I talk about like the timeline.
Yes.
I can't remember exactly. I have it all written on my journal. That's where I got the video from. I just went down my journal. But basically, yeah, some little things started to get better right away. The hormonal issues started to get better, but it took a little while before everything was stabilized, and really it took a while. Yeah. Right. It wasn't an overnight thing.
Yeah. Some things take longer than others.
Yeah.
And what you're experiencing, they call that like a healing crisis, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Big time.
Right. That's one of the things I'm scared to go fully raw, because I do a high raw diet, but I'm scared to go fully raw. I'm scared of that health crisis.
Yeah. And I don't have to. I don't think a lot of people, I mean, people say, oh, I just want to be 100% raw, but everybody's different. I personally don't think that even most doctors recommend 100% raw. You can be very healthy on a high raw diet. It's what you leave out, to me, that counts. In my particular case, I did it for physical reasons, for spiritual reasons. I also did it because I had food addictions, and I knew that this was a way to sort of like get those under control. And so I look at my lifestyle almost like I'm in recovery. Like some people don't drink. Well, I don't eat cooked food. It's just part of what I'm trying to achieve in the big picture.
And you've been pretty consistent for the 4 years. Have you dabbled in cooked foods, or have you been straight raw?
I've been straight raw.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been
That's
straight
amazing.
Raw. I haven't had any what they call cheat meals. I haven't had any cooked food. But at the beginning, one of the things that taught me was that I would try something, like, because I cook for my family, I cook for my husband, I cook for my kids. So at the beginning, I'd be like, oh, is this pasta ready? And I would bite into it. And then I realized, okay, this has got to stop, because I would take a bite here and a bite there. And that sort of kept me with like my foot still on the shore. I wanted to sail away, but I was just trying to hold on. And I just thought, you know, I need to just let go completely, completely, and don't try the food, don't sneak a bite. So when I say no, I haven't eaten any cooked food, it's not accurate. I haven't sat down to a cooked food meal, but I did at the beginning try something here and there. But after a couple of probably 2 years, I realized, nah, this is not going to work. I got to go all in.
Yeah. All or nothing. Or nothing. So before you turned raw, you were eating a high raw diet. And so which means that you were dealing with those hormonal issues while you were still plant-based, right?
Yes, big time.
So why do you think that, like, the raw foods, why do you think it takes sometimes going all the way raw in order to like heal certain ailments? Such in your case, you dealt with hormonal and menstrual type issues. Why does it, do you know why it takes going fully raw for it to finally, you know, heal?
Well, let me just be clear about that. When I had the hormonal issues, I was actually vegan. I wasn't high raw. I only did high raw for about a year and a half. When I had the heavy issues, I was vegan. I was a junk food vegan, actually. I ate a lot of junk food, vegan junk food. Then I went to Hippocrates, and at Hippocrates, I learned the Hippocrates way. This is 2014. I learned the Hippocrates way. I wasn't able to stick with the Hippocrates way once I came home. So I stayed high raw. By then, my issues were, they got under control. So I didn't have to go 100% raw for them to completely go away. Yeah. Once I went high raw, things started to change right there and then. Right is when I got to 100% raw that I really noticed a big difference. But when I got sick is when I was vegan. When I was vegan, I did not do well at all. Yeah.
Wow. And that's crazy that, you know, I've been eating plant-based for 10 years, and I'll have to concur that, you know, eating plant-based is not good enough. I mean, I still have bad menstrual cycles. I get headaches every now and then. There's been a few times where I had like a cluster of headaches just out of nowhere, like every single day. And it took me going raw to make them stop. And then the second time it happened, I went like almost completely raw, but not quite. And it's just weird that sometimes just eating clean and the plant-based, even whole foods, it's still like not good enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you would think that, you know, and I'm not saying that, because there's a lot of people that have had some healing from going from a meat eating diet to plant-based, but I just find that there's still things I struggle with as even you know, eating plant-based. So sometimes it makes me want to go all the way raw, but then again, it's just hard for me to stick to it, you know. But you know, I do eat a lot of raw foods, and I do feel my best when I eat that way. I just wonder how come, you know, just eating plant-based is not good enough. But I guess it's because
think there's, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think there's many reasons for that. I think our plants these days, they're not as nutritious as they once were. I mean, I talk about this in my videos, but there's many reasons why people don't necessarily thrive on a plant-based diet. But I also think that nothing makes us invincible. It's not just diet that determines your health. Like people put so much focus on, well, have been eating high raw or fully raw and I still have headaches. Okay, there could be a whole host of other issues in your, you know, you could be surrounded by a lot of EMFs. People could be drinking terrible water. You could be in a high stress situation. Yeah. You could have, you know, some genetics play a part. You could have, you know, environmental stressors. I mean, there's just so much. It's not just diet, and also attitude, faith, spirituality. So much goes into it. I mean, just because I eat a 100% raw diet doesn't mean that I'm immune to having shitty days, to having gas once in a while, to having a headache. I had a headache the other day. Yeah. You know, because I was on the screens all day, and then that night, guess what? I had a headache. Like, we're not invincible. People think raw is a panacea, that you're raw vegan and you will not age, you will not you will not have this, you will not need reading glasses, your hair won't go gray, which it hasn't actually. But you know, it's not a panacea. So many other things come into play. So I feel for people, because some people that I've coached, they're like, well, you know, I've been doing this so perfectly. It's like, yeah, but we got to look at everything holistically. You can't just assume that because you're eating so well. And there's other factors. A lot of the food we eat is deficient. We need to supplement, which people are very reluctant to do. Yeah. And that's the reality of the modern world that we live in. We don't live in the Garden of Eden. Our food is very, you know, the soil is dead. So the food we eat is lacking in minerals. Right. It's shipped. It's been picked by the time you get it at the supermarket, it's sat there for 3 weeks, 2 weeks, however long it's been in the refrigerator truck. And that's just the reality. It's not like our grandmothers went and they shopped locally. Everything was from their back garden or from around them, and they ate that food. I mean, it's just things have changed so much. Yeah. I guess we have to grow your own. And now we have the EMFs to contend with, you know, this assault on our beings. Yeah. Of these, you know, radio waves that is unprecedented in history. The water we're drinking, just everything, the stress that we're under.
Yeah.
It's just a lot, you know, so we can't, I mean, the best we can do is eat the best that we can.
Yeah.
You know,
there's no perfection, and you know, you just can't get everything right. Everything there's always going to be something that's going to be wrong. But like you said, all we could do is do the best we can, eat as best as we can, stay away from, you know, toxins as much as we can.
Yeah, I mean, obviously drinking alcohol is not a good idea, although I had some hard kombucha the other day that was really good. First time in 4 years.
It only has like a smidget of alcohol in it.
Well, it was the first time in 4 years, and I went out with my husband, and the lady said, "Oh, there's watermelon kombucha." I'm like, "Ooh, I'll have some of that."
That sounds good.
I was, it was so good. But yeah, alcohol is no good. Obviously, cigarettes and all the rest, you know, processed foods. I mean, it's just, you know, we can only do the best we can, and then leave the rest to God, and just know that we're not bulletproof no matter what we eat, you know.
Yep. Let go and let God.
Yeah.
Now I saw one of your videos, and I just wanted you to touch on this a little bit for the viewers. Raw foods versus living foods, because I always just thought all raw food was living, you know, is the fruits, the greens I'm eating, the nuts and seeds. If they're raw, they're living, but there also obviously is a difference. Can you touch on that?
Yeah, that's so cool, because I also didn't realize that there's a difference between raw foods and living foods. It took me a while. I learned this at Hippocrates, but it took me a while of experiencing for myself. Like by the time, yes, a fruit is obviously not being cooked, and you pick it from the tree, and the longer you wait before you eat it, the more nutrients it loses. By the time you eat it, like we just said, it could be 2 weeks old. And so the life force in that fruit diminishes with each passing hour, each passing minute. You pick greens, you pluck greens from the ground, or a carrot or anything, each passing hour, day, that life force diminishes, you know, the amount of nutrients you get. Where living foods are actually the foods that were growing just before you ate them. So you go to your kitchen and you cut some sunflower sprouts and you eat them. Those were literally growing before your eyes, right before you ate them. And the life force in those foods is 100 times fold. I mean, it's 100% living food. You literally ate it you just killed it with your teeth, basically. So there's a massive difference I have noticed between raw foods like a head of romaine and my romaine sprouts, microgreens, are completely different categories. The head of romaine, I don't know how long it was at the store, hopefully not very long, because like I said, I live here in California and it's very fresh. But those microgreens that I'm growing they are living. So yeah, that's the main difference.
Did you say you grow your own sprouts?
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a plan B if someone can't grow their own sprouts? Is it okay to get them at a store, organic?
Yeah, you can buy them, but the thing about buying is that it's pricey, you know, where the sprouts that I grow are costing me pennies a serving, because I buy a big bag of seeds, and then all you need is a jar. You put them in a jar, you let them soak overnight, and then in the morning you rinse them, and well, there you have them, you know. So you can do at home in a jar, you can do chickpeas, you can do lentils, you can do fenugreek, you can do broccoli, you can do radish, you can do a lot of things in just a jar. And those are phenomenal. They're just loaded. I mean, anybody watching this, just look it up. They're loaded with nutrition. So that's very simple to me. All you need is a jar and a little cheesecloth and a rubber band, and that is it. And you're good to go. And
I'm gonna have to try that.
It's so easy. And then you just add them to your salads. And one thing I was doing, I was just adding like a little side dish of it, where now like a good part of my salad is the microgreens, are the sprouts. It's not just like a little side dish, you know, an afterthought. So I'm eating a lot of, or I'm trying to, like I'm not perfect. Some days I'm not, but for the most part I try.
That's good. I'm gonna have to try that. I'm lazy.
I'm lazy too. I'm very lazy. That's why I do it, because it's so easy.
Yeah. Well, then if you could do it and you're lazy, then I could do it.
Yeah, I'm total lazy. Look, I make food for my family every night. By the time I'm done, I don't really want to be in the kitchen anymore. So
Right.
I'm just like, I just throw something together in the bowl. I go and I cut my microgreens. I get my sprouts from the jar. I put it together, and in 10 minutes, my dinner. So
Yummy. Yummy. I saw your tacos you made one day. I think like you ate the raw part and your family had some cooked parts, but they still used some of your,
yeah,
you made it so that it worked for everybody.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, it looks good.
Yeah.
It made me want to make some right then and there, but the laziness kicked in. But so I know you juice sometimes. Do you think juicing is like totally necessary, or is just eating a raw vegan diet enough?
I juice every day. I mean, it's rare the day that I don't juice. If I don't juice, I'll buy a juice at the health food store. Like I'm that committed to juicing, because my thing is, look, like I said, the fruits and the vegetables are not as nutritious as they once were. We have got to make up for that nutritional deficit somehow. So we need to eat more fruits and vegetables, but I mean, how many more can you eat? I mean, there's only so much salad I can eat. There's only so much fruit I'm gonna eat. There's so many greens. So what I do is I juice. I've sort of like found a way to have a whole thing of celery every day, have whole 2 cucumbers, have a bunch of cilantro today, and a bunch of kale. I had all of that this morning. I removed the fiber. The fiber it's absolutely 100% necessary. I have fiber in my other meal.
Yeah.
But what I did for breakfast was I removed the fiber, which in and of itself has no nutrition. It's a broom that we need, but it has no nutrients, fiber per se. It's got has a lot of goodness for your microbiome for sure, but I did remove the fiber, and I just drank all those vegetables, which is like, to me, ingenious. It's like a modern day tool that why wouldn't we use? It's like, here we are, a beautiful invention to live in this century to make up, nutritionally. So I juice every single day, and I'm a big, huge proponent of it. And I think that it'd be silly not to, because it's so easy. You just juice and drink it, and
right.
done.
And that's it. Now, do you ever do like total juice cleanses, like where you're just drinking juice for a certain amount of time?
I do that. I did a 25-day juice cleanse. Ooh. And I also did a 10-day juice cleanse. The 25-day was just recently. I want to say in the last year. I did it because I was wanting to reset myself a little bit. And did I do it during? Yeah, it must have been during this whole Corona thing. So I did it maybe, I think it was March or April. I'm not sure, but I did a 25-day reset. It was wonderful. And
no
then
food?
I did no food, but you're okay. After the 3rd day, believe me, you're fine. You're fine. And I didn't lose weight either. I lost 4 pounds. Your body knows. I had no weight to lose, so my body didn't want to let go.
You said you lost 4 pounds?
4 pounds. That was it.
Yeah.
But I did,
because maybe you were still eating enough calories or drinking enough calories.
Exactly. I was drinking calories. I just didn't have the fiber, but I was drinking calories and nutrition, which is the most important thing. I was still getting all my nutrients. So people go forever. I don't think there's a benefit to going forever. I don't think more than 25, 30 days is really necessary. People do it for whatever reasons, but I think 25 days is perfect, 25, 30.
Do you think that for someone who can't do that, like myself, because I can't go without food, do you think like a fruit cleanse is equivalent to that, or it's not the same? Like if I just did all fruit for like 10 days or something, like would it have the same benefits as a juice fast, or is that?
It's not going to have the same benefits as a juice fast, but neither is a water fasting going to be, juice fasting going to be as good as water fasting. There's always, like John Kohler says, good, better, best, right? So a juice fast is great. Water fasting is better. Eating fruit is good. It's absolutely good. Why? Because fruit takes very little energy to digest. Whenever you're not digesting, your body's repairing, cleansing, going where the energy is needed. So if you're not if you're not spending any energy on digesting with eating fruit, then that's wonderful that you're going to have a marvelous result. But I don't personally, I have overdone the fruit, and I'm stepping back from so much fruit. I don't believe an overabundance of fruit was beneficial to me in my particular case. I think
I saw your video.
Yeah, I'm balancing it better now, and I feel better for it. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I was watching your video yesterday. I was like, no, don't say this.
Yeah, people don't want to hear, but that's just my journey. What I have to say is intermittent fasting has been wonderful for me, and that's something everybody can do, no matter what diet, no matter if you really want to give your body a break and you really want to recuperate, really is what it is. You want to give your body a chance to heal, to recharge. Then intermittent fasting is so simple. You just stop eating after a certain time. You don't eat anymore, like 7 p.m., and then you don't eat anything till the next morning at 10. It takes a little practice, but it's like one of the best and the easiest tools.
Yeah, and the good thing is, like, most of those hours that you're fasting, you're asleep, so it's not as difficult.
Yeah, and then you wake up, you have a little lemon water, then you look at your clock, okay, I can hang on for a little longer, and then by 10:30, okay, then I'll have my juice or whatever it is. I mean, for me, it's easy, but when I first started, it was awful, because I had blood sugar issues, so I would literally get shaky in the morning if I didn't have some carbs quick, like I needed bread, muffins, coffee, sugar, milk, anything I could before I started getting shaky. So I had a huge problem with that. So intermittent fasting for me wasn't easy when I first started.
Right. I do always want to know, what is a typical day of eating for you? I know every day is different, but just give the people an idea of what a raw vegan might eat in a day, like an average day.
Okay, so this morning I had some lemon water, a good 32 ounces of lemon water, warm lemon water, and I woke up at 6:30. So I'm trying to get up earlier now because I'm getting too lazy with this Corona thing. My schedule has been out the window. I'm like getting up really late, so I'm trying to get up early. Today I woke up at 6:30 and I had the water. Then at, what time is it now? 1:30, so about
2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock right now.
So I haven't had anything to eat yet.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
But that's because I had drunk a lot of green juice today. And that's excellent fuel for me, because it doesn't slow me down. It floods me with nutrients. So I had a huge green juice. I had over 32 ounces. I probably had maybe 40 ounces of green juice. I made a lot today. And it was celery, kale, cucumber, it had cilantro, it had lemon, and it had 1 apple, and I made for me and for my family. So I had that. Then now when I finish here, I'm probably going to have a smoothie, because I have a lot of work to do on the computer and I don't have time to slow down. Right. Sometimes I have a smoothie, sometimes I have a wrap, sometimes I have fruit and greens, sometimes I have banana tacos. I don't know. It's usually fruit and greens in some combination. So if I end up doing a smoothie, I'll probably do 2 or 3 bananas. I'll pack it with spinach, because I have spinach in the fridge. I'll put maybe some wild blueberries. I'll put some vitamin greens, which is like spirulina type of powder. Then I'll do a little chia seeds, and that's it. And then for dinner, if I get hungry mid-afternoon, I'll have maybe an apple or something to snack on before dinner. And then I'll have my dinner, which is going to be, today is going to be a really big salad with my microgreens, my sprouts, vegetables, things like this. But it's not exciting. I mean, people think, what dishes do you do? There's no dishes here. Yeah. I have very plain and simple food. The fat in my dinner comes from the dressing. Obviously, I get creative with dressings. That's about it. It's not, but that's what I'm craving. That's what I want to eat. Like, I'm not feeling like, once in a while I have a little gourmet raw. I'll go out to San Diego. I'll treat myself to something nice. I feel terrible the next day. I have a food hangover. So that's going to work out less and less. And sometimes I do something more elaborate. I'll do pâtés. I'll do some things with seeds. I do crackers in the dehydrator. I do veggie burgers. I do a lot of zoodles and pasta dishes with nice. It just, lately I've been wanting microgreens. Microgreens is all I'm eating lately. But
yeah. You're like me though. I'm not into, I mean, if I go to we don't really have any raw vegan restaurants out here, but when I lived in LA, I used to love to go to the restaurants to have that gourmet, but 98% of the time when I'm eating raw or high raw, I prefer just the simple stuff. Some salad, smoothies, juices, fruit, maybe some nuts and seeds, and nice cream. You know, I'm very simple and, as I said, lazy. So I'm going to close now, and I want you to tell everyone about your 2 books and where they can find them. And I'm also going to be putting the links in the description below you all, so you can go check her books out. But tell us a little bit, I'm going to wrap it up in a few minutes. Tell us a little bit about your 2 books and how they can contact you if they want to contact you for coaching or anything like that.
Okay, so I have a website. It's called evalovesraw. You just go on there. I have my story. I have the coaching packages that I offer. It just my favorite things. It's a good website. I also have a free 3-day smoothie cleanse on my website. That's free if you sign up to my newsletter, which I don't spam you. I don't sell. I don't start sending you stuff all the time. So I have a free 3-day smoothie cleanse, and then I have a high raw reset that is for sale on my website too, which is a very easy, it has all the recipes, it has the shopping, it has all the things you need for a good solid 7 days to reset yourself on a high raw diet. It's not 100% because there's a little bit of cooked in there.
That's good. That's even better. That's like more of a transition, as not so
it's not a shock to the system. It's actually doable, and it has desserts, it has sweet smoothies, it has savory stuff, it has a little bit of everything. It has marinara sauce. It's got a lot of good stuff. And I don't just give you what to eat. I mean, there's a lot of backstory in there. There's a lot of tidbits, a lot of good information too.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. I'm gonna have to check that out. Yep. I have to figure a way to make less questions so I can get all my questions in, because I didn't ask all of them, but that's okay. We can always do a part 2 if necessary. And so thank you all for joining me today and listening to Eva's story. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you continue to watch my videos. Don't forget to subscribe and watch my videos in the future. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.